welcome to the 2011-12 men's basketball preview. My name is David Buck, and I'm here with head coach Charlie Ernst. Charlie, it's nice to have you here.
Hey, thanks for having me, Dave.
No problem. Charlie, you've been with the program for over 20 years. This will be your first year as a head coach. What can we expect out of a Charlie Ernst-led team?
Well, I think it starts with defense. I mean, that's what my knowledge base is. It's how the players see me as a defensive-minded person. So I think it's all of our success this year will begin and end with defense. I think we're going to change our style of play slightly, not because I'm the head coach, but more so because of what we have returning and maybe playing to our strengths more includes picking up the pace of the game, allowing us to utilize our depth. And, of course, when you do that, you make yourself a little porous on defense. So we have to be tough-minded on defense. I think that's going to be the most important thing for this team this season.
Great. Now, I know you guys make some goals every year. Usually they're the same, but, is there any specific goals that you have set for your team this year?
We haven't really talked about that quite yet with our team, but when we do, we always begin and end that conversation with the GLIAC South Division. That's the most important thing, and we'll make that the priority for our players. But I think after that, I think not only making it to the GLIAC tournament, but winning the GLIAC tournament is always a major goal. And then, of course, getting to the NCAA tournament. If you can accomplish those things, then you set yourself up for who knows. When you get into the postseason, anything can happen. Games are tight. They typically come down to the last couple minutes. And then, in some ways, luck's involved. But you have to put yourself in that position to begin with. So I think if we win the GLIAC South Division, we'll put ourselves in position to accomplish those other goals.
Good. Now, you're going to have to make up for the loss of Nathan Hyde, who was an All-American player for you last year. Who on the team, if there is anyone on the team, can, make up some of that production?
Well, I think we have a nice blend of, experience in Kyle Kaola. Rob Marsden, while he hasn't, had the type of career that Kyle's had, he has been in our program for 4 years. I think he understands, what it's like to go on the road and be successful, what practices, have to carry and what sort of energy you need in practice. But then I like our junior class. I think there's a lot of veteran players in that class. Aaron Robinson, Jack Smith, Brad Peel, they're all in that class. And so I think, between our two classes, upperclassmen, juniors and seniors, we're in good shape, I think, as far as leadership goes. And, we're going to miss those 4 seniors. They were really good in that area of leadership. But I think the guys that we have now can grow into that same role.
Good. You were talking a little bit about Kyle Kaola. He's back for his senior year. He was a first-team all-conference selection last year. How's his off-season been going, and what do you expect of him this year?
Well, when last year ended, Kyle and I talked about that, and really he should expect to have, a great senior year and lead our team. As both a leader. I think that's really the biggest step for him. Last year he kind of came in and we had a veteran team with 4 seniors who had been in our program for 4 years. That was a tough role for him to step into, and especially given how many points he had scored at his previous school. I think it took him most of the year last year to feel comfortable in his role. I think this year he really views this team more as his team. And I think I see, big strides in him, more so from a leadership standpoint. He had a great offseason in the weight room this summer with our strength coach. I think he's really, figured that part out. He's made himself a durable athlete. I'll be surprised if he doesn't have a really good senior year. He's got great talent. He's skilled, and now more than anything else, he's got comfort.
Now, before we go, another quick question here. You've got 3 newcomers on the team this year. What do you expect out of them?
Well, I expect them all to play a major part in our success this year. They bring athleticism, which we felt like we needed to address. All 3 of them are very good defensive players. They have great motors, and I think teams really make strides throughout the season based on how they perform in practice. And when we lost our 4 seniors, we felt like we lost the heart of our team in terms of their approach to practice every day. They were all hard-nosed. They took a lot of pride in outworking their opponents, and it showed in practice. What that does is it forces younger guys to match that level of intensity, and I think then players get better quicker. And I think the 3 freshmen, not only add depth, game day depth, but they'll make the drills and they'll make practice a lot more competitive, and it'll make every player better.
Well, great. Well, thank you for coming, Charlie, and that concludes the 2011-12 men's basketball preview.